All right, today we're jumping into a really powerful idea from Stephen Denning's guide to what he calls radical management. It's all about finding an alternative to those, old school, top-down systems that just make so many jobs feel, well, broken.
So let's start with a problem I think a lot of us can relate to. It's that Sunday night feeling, right? That nagging sense that something about work is just fundamentally not working. And the thing is, it's not just in your head. It's a real symptom of a much bigger crisis.
And look, this isn't just a vibe or a feeling. The data is, well, it's pretty stark. Denning's research points to only about 20% of workers worldwide feeling truly engaged. That means a staggering 80% of the workforce isn't. 4 out of every 5 people. This is way more than just a dip in morale. It's a huge sign that the whole system we're using to manage work is failing us.
And here's the really weird part, the paradox, right? We all see our colleagues, our teams, ourselves. We're all working incredibly hard. So if it's not a lack of effort, then what's actually going on? Well, Denning argues the problem isn't about blaming individuals. It's not about bad managers or lazy employees. It's the system itself, a broken system that good people are trapped inside. And this is where you really see the human cost. Denning tells these incredible stories. You've got Paul, a writer who loved his job summarizing books. But then it all became about hitting a daily quota, not about creating value, and it just crushed his spirit. Or Alan, an auditor for 10 years, who suddenly realized he couldn't point to a single thing he'd done that felt truly meaningful. That's the soul-crushing reality of this broken system. So what is the system that's causing all this damage? Well, Denning gets right to the root of it. He says we're trying to manage a 21st century workforce, people who are creative, who think for a living, using a rule book that was written for the 20th century. It just doesn't fit anymore. Now, this system, what we call traditional management, was actually a huge success back in the day. I mean, it was revolutionary. It was designed to make factories in the industrial age run super efficiently. It built the modern corporation by treating work like a predictable, well-oiled machine. And that's the key word right there, predictable. It was built for a world of repetitive tasks. And this is where you can really see the massive disconnect. The world of work today has completely changed. We've gone from an economy of semi-skilled labor doing the same thing over and over to an economy that runs on knowledge work, critical thinking, and innovation. That old system was built for control and compliance. But today, that same system is actively crushing the very autonomy and engagement we desperately need to succeed. And I think this is just such a crucial point. This is not about pointing fingers and blaming individual managers. Denning makes it really clear. We have good, smart, well-intentioned leaders who are stuck implementing a bad system. It's a system that actually forces them to manage in a way that, ironically, leads to disengaged teams and just worse results all around. Okay, so how do we actually fix this mess? Denning's answer is pretty bold. He says we can't just tinker around the edges. We can't just tweak the system. We have to change something much more fundamental. The goal. The entire purpose of why an organization even exists. And just look at this shift in thinking. Traditional management is all about one thing, producing goods and services as efficiently as possible. But radical management says, nope, that's not the real goal. The real goal, the new bottom line, is something totally different. It's to delight the client. It's a huge shift from just making a transaction to building a relationship. You know, when delighting the client becomes your true north, your guiding star, absolutely everything else starts to fall into place. Every single decision, every process, every meeting, it all gets recentered around one simple question. Is what we're doing going to delight our client? It creates this incredible clarity that the old efficiency-focused model just can't match. All right, so if delighting the client is the big goal, how in the world do we actually do that? Well, Denning doesn't just leave us hanging. He lays out a practical roadmap, a framework of 7 core principles that create a whole new way of working. And what's so cool about this is that it's all one big reinforcing loop. You see, it all starts with that big goal, delighting clients. But to actually do that, you have to empower your teams to manage themselves. And these teams don't just go off and build something for 6 months. No, they work in short, fast cycles, constantly talking with clients and delivering value all the time. The whole thing is fueled by radical transparency and a drive for constant self-improvement, and it's all held together by real interactive communication.
See how each piece makes the others stronger?
But here's the thing you absolutely have to get. This isn't a checklist where you can just pick and choose your favorites. These principles are designed to work together as a single integrated system. I mean, think about it. How can you truly empower teams if you don't have radical transparency? You can't. It's the whole package that creates this new mental model for leadership today.
Okay, so let's get practical. What does this massive shift from control to collaboration actually look like day to day?
This table just lays it out so clearly. In the old world, work is organized around individuals reporting up to bosses. In the new world, it's all about self-organizing teams. Planning goes from these huge, rigid, top-down plans to quick, flexible iterations driven by the client. Communication stops being a one-way street from the top and becomes a real, interactive dialogue. And maybe most importantly, the job of improving things shifts from being the boss's problem to being the team's own responsibility.
And when you look at the consequences, well, the two paths couldn't be more different. The traditional management path, it leads right back to where we started, stunted innovation and totally disengaged workers. But the radical path, that's where you unlock continuous innovation and, this is so important, you create real, deep job satisfaction. And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? At the end of the day, this is about so much more than just efficiency or profits. It's about creating workplaces that actually enable the human spirit. It's about unlocking all that passion, that energy, that creativity that the old system just smothers. It's about making sure people like Paul and Alan can actually find meaning and joy in what they do. So, I want to leave you with one big question to think about. A question for you to take back to your own workplace. Look around at your team, at your company. Is it designed for control or is it designed for collaboration? Because as Denning shows us, the answer to that question, well, it changes everything.